Hi, friends! Today, I'm visiting Cape Canaveral in Florida. Cape Canaveral is home to the United States Space Force, and is close to the Kennedy Space Center, where NASA and others have launched rockets into outer space. I'm meeting with my friend, an aerospace engineer, also known as a rocket scientist. She is going to teach me about why astronauts float in space.
Hi Owen. Welcome. I hear you want to know why astronauts and other objects are weightless and float when they are in space.
Yes! Why do we not float on Earth, but astronauts float in outer space?
Well, on Earth, we have a thing called gravity. Gravity is an invisible force that pulls objects toward the Earth. Basically, gravity can be described by, what goes up must come down. Let's try a quick experiment to test gravity on Earth.
Okay. What should we do?
We will test gravity first by jumping up as high as you can. Are you ready, Owen? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Jump!
I jumped as high as I could, and still came back down to the ground.
That's right, Owen. No matter how high you jump, the force of gravity will always pull you back to the Earth.
But why does the Earth have gravity?
Good question. Anything that has mass has gravity. The Earth has mass, therefore it has gravity. The gravity of Earth is pulling you down, which is why you don't float away while standing here, while the force of the ground below your feet is pushing you up, which is why you're not being sucked into the center of the Earth.
I think I understand. The force of the ground is pushing me up, while the gravity of the Earth is at the same time pulling me down. When I jump, gravity brings me back to the ground. And the ground pushes against me, so that I don't keep falling to the center of the Earth.
You got it. On Earth, we feel the force of gravity as weight. All the planets in our solar system have gravity, but, because they have different masses, the force of the gravitational pull is different.
So, would my weight be different with different levels of gravity?
That's right. For example, if you weigh 100 pounds on Earth, you would weigh only 17 pounds on the Moon. The Moon has less mass than Earth. But if you were to go to Jupiter, then there you would weigh over 250 pounds, because Jupiter has a greater mass than Earth. Objects with more mass have more gravity.
If astronauts float in space, is that because there is no gravity?
Actually, even space has gravity. But gravitational force decreases as distance from an object with mass, like planet Earth, increases. So in space, because the distance is so far from Earth, the pull of Earth's gravitational force is much, much less. But for astronauts in space, the feeling of weightlessness, or floating, is actually caused by the orbit within their spacecraft. The spacecrafts are technically falling toward Earth, because of Earth's gravitational pull.
What? Spacecrafts are going to fall to Earth?
No, don't worry, Owen. They won't actually fall onto Earth. The spacecraft are falling at a speed, and in a way that matches the curve of the Earth. They fall around Earth without ever hitting it. It's the same reason our Moon orbits Earth. The gravitational pull of our planet keeps the Moon and spacecrafts orbiting, but the distance and falling motion give the feeling of weightlessness. Astronauts in space do not have the push force of the ground below their feet, they only have gravitational force. You need both to feel the weight of your mass.
Wow! I have learned so much about gravity. Let's review. Gravity is an invisible force that pulls objects to Earth. With gravity, what goes up must come down. Any object with a mass, like Earth, has gravity. The greater the mass, the greater the force of gravity, or the gravitational pull. Even outer space has gravity. The reason astronauts in space seem to float, is because there is no push force of the ground. They are experiencing only gravitational force, as their spacecraft falls around the Earth.
Great job! Now let's get ready to watch this rocket take off.
3, 2, 1. Blast off!